I'll email these to William. So there have been some significant changes to music. So what I've done is I have prepared a advisement sheet that you, if it works as planned, you should be able to use to just know exactly step by step what to do with our music students. And then I have also a frequently asked questions that are kind of anticipated to be the frequently asked questions. But the big change to the MUS degree is there's a new policy for matriculation into the AS degree. And like I said, a FAQ has been prepared for students and advisors by the department. And I'm also going to provide you with the official wording that's going to be placed in the catalog. These are very new changes. They passed the Senate. We're just waiting to hear. We suspect that they will be implemented this spring for advisement into the next fall. I'll give you a quick description of what that change is. AS students will not become officially AS students until they pass, until they either, in essence, place into it or take their first semester classes and do well. And then we advise them directly into the AS program after that. Otherwise, they start off matriculated as AA degree students. And there's reasons for this that have to do with our accreditation. And I'll talk about how we are still open enrolled to anyone. Anyone can do this degree. So you don't have to tell them, oh, no, that's, you can't do that degree. They just have to either pass a certain musical aptitude exam, or they have to take a semester of first year classes and pass with certain benchmarks, and then they will automatically become AS.
You entered 402.
All right, so I think unless someone had a question about that, but let me go ahead and go through this. So step one, whenever you have a student who's interested in the AS degree music program, notify them that they need to attend one of the following placement sessions. And like I said, the FAQ will have more information on this, but right now we're scheduling May 15th, 2024 from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, room H144. That's our preferred time that they come. Obviously, that way they have time to adjust their schedules as needed and know what's going on. July 8th, we do have one in the summer.
Okay.
It may be a little bit limited in the number of students we're able to do during that time, just because most of the faculty's on summer leave. So we'll have less people to actually administer the assessment of our students. And August 27th, that's the last time they can do this. That's right before the start of the new semester on the August 27th from 1 to 3. And I'll talk about what goes on in those sessions in just a moment. But that's the first thing to let all new MUS students know about, is that they need to come to the music department on one of those times, and they're going to get assessed for their musical abilities. So once you inform them of that and they choose which one they want to do, step two is you can go ahead and register them for the first semester of MUS degree classes, even though they will officially, until they take that assessment, they will officially be AA degree students. But assuming that when you register them, assume that all are going to need to take MUS 111. And we've adjusted our curriculum to allow for that in the degree plan, which is our musicianship 1. So we just are going to assume that most are going to need to do that. We will know after that assessment whether or not they need to take MUS 111 or not. But most, we suspect, are going to have to take it. And at that point, you can use one of the following 2 plans, A or B, to register students. Plan A is kind of our preferred one. It's the preferred department course sequencing. We recommend that they take the musicianship class in the summer session, which is when we're offering it, FW2. This way they get that one class that really is laying the foundations for their music fundamentals out of the way during summer, and then they can come into the fall semester much more well prepared. And we will be, hopefully it will run, but we're offering it in the second 4-week summer session. And so they should just plan on taking that then. And then once they do that, they can take the normal selection of MUS degree classes, MUS 121, the lessons, MUS 150 through 180. when you, we as the department in their first year will register them for the lessons based on their musical placement. So there is an asterisk there. You should discuss with them what lessons they would like to take. But in reality, in their first semester, the department will control which of the studios, voice, piano, percussion, they're allowed to go into once we hear them and know what their abilities are. But you can also go ahead and register them from 121. You can register them for the convocations. You can have them choose one of the 400 level ensembles from the following list that they can do. And then you can have them take some of their classes that they need to take for the pathways. And we recommend English 101, Math 321, and we recommend Speech 211. And that would be the classes we recommend for their first semester. What we like about this is, other than that they're now well prepared in the summer, they've already gotten what they need to do to get ready for MUS 121. It's also that if they take the assessment and we discover they don't need MUS 111, they have enough prior knowledge, it would be very easy for them to then just drop in the summer and it won't affect their fall schedule at all. So for this reason, this is our preferred plan. But they may register late for the program, or they may not be able to do something in that summer session. So we do have an alternative, and that's Plan B. You should register them for both MUS 111 and MUS 121. These classes are designed to help each other. In other words, they're going to have to take, if they want to be on a 4-semester program, they're going to have to take MUS 111, which is Musicianship 1, in conjunction at the same time as as Music Theory 1, which is MUS 121. And these two classes together, it's kind of like how the remedial stuff is working. They're going to get additional support for 121 by taking MUS 111. Everything else, the lessons is the same issue. Convocation 400 is the same. Because they need to make room for 111 in their schedule, at this point, we would recommend just the English and the math requirement to be taken. So this way they, if they register for this degree plan and they discover after the assessment that they don't need to take MUS 111, they could then drop that and take SP 211 instead. You can work with them if they'd rather register for 17 credits, including SP, that should say 211. And then drop SP 211 once they get word that they don't need to take MUS 111. They can do that as well. It depends on things. But the bottom line is they need to be prepared to take MUS 111 unless their music placement assessment results show that they do not need to do so. So that's the main issue. So a couple of notes about things. So after the first semester of lessons, students with their advisor may register for lessons without department permission if the minimum grade was earned, but they do have to stay with the same instructor and instrument unless the department permission is given to change. So we're just making this a little easier so that the lessons, we control the registration in the first semester into the lessons as a department. After that, once they're placed, we're not going to have any further blocks on them registering their lessons, save for what was mentioned, being in the same instructor and studio. But the other big change about this is you no longer need to think, there's no need anymore to send them to the music office for a placement exam. You don't have to say, oh, go to the music office, they'll place you. No, you're going to have them choose one of those 3 dates, scheduled times and dates, where they're going to take what's known as the music, this is the music theory placement exam and the basic musical aptitude test. Those are what's going to be administered on one of those 3 times. And you can work with them and choose one of the plan A or B to register them for. But like I said, there's no reason for them to be sent to the placement exam. All we're going to do is tell them, take one of these 3 times. Now, if they can't come to any of those 3 sessions, which seems a little bit unlikely, given that there's plenty of advance notice to schedule it, they need to inform us. And then at that point, we would give them just the MTPE, which is the music theory placement exam. And that'll give us an idea of what they need for advisement. But the BMAT is only going to be offered during one of those 3 sessions. So if they want to go directly into the AS degree program without having to first start as an AA student, they have to take that BMAT, or we're going to say, yeah, you're in the program, or you can in the music degree classes, but you're going to start off as an AA until you take, the classes you need to take. I know that all seems a little bit overwhelming, but like I said, the FAQ will explain it in more detail. I'm just going to, so the BMAT stands for the Basic Musicianship Aptitude Test. That is where we are going to see if they play an instrument and at what level. And if they don't play an instrument, and even if they do play an instrument, we're going to test certain musical fundamental skills, like can they pitch match, not just something in their register, but can they match a pitch that's in a register beyond where they can sing? In other words, can they recognize pitch class? We're going to look for their basic awareness of musical motion and a sense of rhythm. We just need to see where are they in terms of their musical aptitude. It may be that they've never had lessons, but they're very, very musical. We need to see that, and then we can advise appropriately. We may see through the aptitude test that they have very, very little musical skills. They cannot match pitch. Their sense of internal pulse is not developed. This is a student that we would say, you're welcome to try this degree, but we really recommend that you maybe stay in the AAS degree program, give it a try. But if the first semester doesn't go well, shift gears to the AA program, because the problem is you don't have musical ability. You're welcome to keep trying to a certain extent, but at some point we have to tell them, you don't have the ability to hear pitch. This is not the right degree for you. So the musical theory exam just tests their knowledge of written musical theory. So they're both are a component of our ability to assess the student to know where and how they should be advised. And it should benefit both us and the student immensely to have this information. I'll take any more questions about that. And like I said, I'll share with you the FAQ, which I think will explain a lot more about it. Yeah, so yeah, thank you. Yeah, obviously the problem we run into is not knowing where our students' musical ability lies and what challenges they have, and we can't advise them properly without these two tests. So the other issues, we did make a change to allow MUS 111 will be considered degree credit. And so we had to take MUS 241 out of our degree program to make room for it. So we will no longer be offering what was our advanced music history course, MUS 241. Students who still need that, I will make waivers and substitutes. So students currently in the AS degree program who need 241, do not worry. I will accept many courses in its place, since we will no longer be offering it. We kind of remember, we will start recommending MUS 102 to be taken instead. Students who don't need to take MUS 111 because they place out of it, they come with enough musical theory skills, they'll get a musical elective. They can take a wide choice of musical classes to fill that elective. So that's a change. The 2 consecutive semesters of course requirement has also been removed. Students still need to take 4 ensembles during their degree program, ideally 1 a semester, but they now have free choice among this list of which ones to take. We're not forcing them to always take a chorus. We tried that. We weren't happy with the results, so we made that change. In terms of music production, I'll highlight this. Oops. Because we had low enrollment in the spring semester in MP 101, we will not be offering MP 102 in the spring, which is going to mess up some people's course scheduling. Students who successfully pass this semester MP 101 will likely be allowed with department oversight into MP 204 instead of going into MP 102. So these students who do well in MP 101 will likely take MP 204 out of sequence instead of MP 102, and then they'll take MP 102 in the spring when it's offered again. So they're going to bypass that. They should still take and register MUS 112, which will be offered. The other class we're not offering due to the low enrollment is MP 207. So they'll need to take that in spring of 2025, and they'll need to readjust. They'll need to adjust their schedule to fit another class in there that's appropriate to their schedule. But those are the 2 classes in the MP sequencing that we will not be offering because we won't have the numbers to run them. With regard to the basic musicianship aptitude test and the music theory placement exams, We would like you to encourage all new music production students to also come to those sessions. It is not required, since their degree is a different nature, for them to take it before they're matriculated as MUS majors. They will directly and always be matriculated as MP majors, but the same issues apply. We'd like to know if they have the ability on a musical instrument, where their musical aptitude is, and where their written theory skills are, so we can better advise them throughout the course of their time with us. So any MP student, you should try to get them to come to one of those sessions. That will be very helpful for both us and them. I know I'm probably going a little bit over. I will send you all this information, including the FAQ, which I won't have time to go over here, but you'll see it's written very much from the perspective of the student. Do I need to audition to become a music major at QCC? No, these are not auditions. Our program is open to all students. However, the music department does administer these 2 exams to help advise and place them. Who should take them? Really, it's the AAS music degree program. It's required. You can read more about that. What to expect of the BMAT and the MTP. What are they supposed to do for these? Again, this goes and tells them exactly what they should do to prepare for, know what we're expecting of them. And then the big one is, how does this affect their registration into the AAS program? And basically, they need to meet a minimum threshold of 4 out of 10, a score of 4 out of 10 on the scores for the BMAT and MTPE. If they meet that threshold or above, they will be directly matriculated as an AS in music degree program and likely will not need MUS 111. If they're below that, they're going to have to take musicianship 111, and they're going to start off as liberal arts and science AA degree. And then they have to meet certain benchmarks before we allow them into the AS degree program. So once that happens, they then can, once they meet those benchmarks, then they'll become matriculated as AS students. Otherwise, we'd like to keep them in AA, and we'd like them to continue their degree as an AA student using music classes as free electives, so that they can still get a transfer degree. It's just that music is not seemingly the one they're going to have success with. So you see there's more questions. What courses should I take? What do I do if I don't do well enough on the first semester of classes? This is where we lay out what that criteria is. They need to pass musicianship 111 with at least a B. Our experience shows us that if they're not passing with a B, they're not going to be able to do well in the program. The placement will be posted. That's a good question. We will notify the students directly and their advisor directly of the results. I think that's probably how we'll do it. I hadn't really thought about that, but yes, that's how we'll do that. We also do make sure that they do well in their lessons. They need to be able to get a C in their lessons or above. If they're not, it's another indication that they're not progressing on the instrument because they're lacking or not developing the musical skill necessary, in which case, again, they really should stay in the AAS degree program. If they really do bad in these classes, there is recourse for them. We'll allow them one repeat, but at some point we were like, look, you're not learning an instrument and you're not developing musical aptitude. You can't, this is not the right program for you. So we give everyone the chance. But anyway, that's how it works.
Yeah, this is so to keep on schedule, just wanted to the resource is going to be great because I think it'll field a lot of general questions. So we'll definitely get that to everybody, I promise. And I think we should just review it because it's a lot to take in, and just everyone read through it, review it, and then maybe we can circle back at another time once you and I can chat a little bit more and get a little bit more of a mastery on this, because there's going to be a lot of implications with process and stuff as well when it comes to the operation. So I think we have to flush that out a little bit with the management team, but we'll do that. And so I appreciate it, Dr. Burkow. This is some of the changes from what I observed do make life a little bit easier, like with that history course that was a thorn in a lot of people's sides, and then we'll work out the placement stuff. But thank you for your time, and we'll get that information out to everyone. Professor Sullivan, you're next.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great, thank you for having me. I've got a straightforward update for everybody, and then I can take questions. So I'll just run through a couple of slides. Let me just share my presentation. Hopefully you can see that. So we have a new course in digital art. We're very excited about. What preceded it was a very generous donation was given to our department at the end of last year, and we were able to build the lab of our dreams, so to speak. So we're going to build a 3D fabrication and animation lab in one of the classrooms. We're going to have a rotating open lab hours for students, providing them with 5 open computers all the time. We're getting 2 state-of-the-art, basically prosumer level, but very, very high-end printers, 3D printers, a router, some other equipment. So it's going to, and animation stands. So we're really building out kind of the future of our digital program in one fell swoop with this really nice donation. So that's in the works for fall of 2024. So coming up. So we'll build that in the summer. So to that end, we have a new course, 392, which is an elective course, and the prereq will be the 192 digital animation course. So this is not going to be, it's an elective because it's not for everybody. It's the learning curves are pretty high. Most of the course will involve 3D animation, which, you probably noticed that that's almost all of animation now is some sort of 3D modeled animation. So they're going to learn the fundamentals of the techniques of modeling, texturing, lighting, and exporting 3D animation, but also apply it to storytelling and character development and some basic narrative techniques as well. The printing component is a nice add-on as well that we can add to that course, and that they can, design a character, say, and then actually, for example, make it real, make it an object as well. We're also anticipating a lot of crossover. There's been a lot of interest in other arts faculty using this room, for instance, in 2D or drawing or, of course, sculpture, becoming much more be able to rapid prototype objects. So we're pretty excited over here about this new course. And while we were at it, we added a few changes to our program that should affect some of the sequencing. So I'll just go over those now. The first thing is that we decided, because digital animation and motion graphics, 192 and 293, they're often students will take them like right in the same semester, which is not ideal because they basically cover animation techniques using the same software. So they're kind of getting a double dose. They're not really spacing it out in a way that would allow the information to sink in. So 192 digital animation deals more with character animation, drawing characters, animating characters, making, the basics of After Effects and applying it to storytelling. Motion graphics is more specific to graphic design. So if 192 is storytelling and narrative and character, this is more like graphic design in motion. So animated posters, all the graphic designs they've been working on in other classes can kind of come to life and be staged in time. So it's a little more advanced in that sense. We work on a little more advanced skills. So we thought one should precede the other. So now 192 has a prereq of either 291 or 190. So some digital skills need to be covered. And then 192 is a prereq for motion graphics 293. We also just did some minor upkeep to the course on motion graphics. It used to be called Design for Motion Graphics. It's a bit of a mouthful, so just to make it a little tighter. Also cleaned up the description of it in the catalog. So all those changes are now, I think, on their way to the Board of Trustees, or should be soon. So it's passed all the campus hurdles, and it'll be in the catalog in the fall. Just for we're most likely going to sort of run a test on the lab in the fall, and then probably offer the new course 392 in the spring. So it won't be available in the fall, but it'll be something we offer, maybe in the spring. Let's see what else. Okay, so these are our recommended electives. One other change that we made was that our students, our digital students, only get 2 or 3 electives choices. So we really wanted to make sure that they could take the courses they wanted to. And one of the pipelines we were looking at was that our 141, our introduction to photography, which has a kind of a high financial bar to enter, because students need to have, or it's required, not required, but they're required to buy their own paper and supplies for analog developing in our darkroom. And sometimes that can be a little financial burden. We are providing them with cameras, which is good, but at one point we didn't. So, and it's a great course, but we also knew that people were taking it just so they could take the digital photography class. So now we've removed the prereq from 243 digital photography. So now they can just take digital photography if they choose. And then also there you see that addition in bold of the 392 3D animation being added to our course offerings. Just want to end on a happy note. It's all happy news, but this is especially, we're very proud of the excellent work that comes out of our program, both the studio art and the digital side. We have our annual juried student exhibition at the QCC Art Gallery. I hope everyone can make the opening. It's from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on April 10th, where we've just finished designing the catalog, and we are mounting it in a few weeks. So on March 13, we drop the work off, and it'll be mounted. And there's a significant uptick in video and animation work, so that we're particularly proud of on our digital side. And we're actually going to use the space in the gallery where there's a cinema style seating as well for the opening. So we're excited. It should be a great show. I've combed over the work a lot in the last few months designing the catalog. So we're in for a good one. It's also going to run longer than it usually does, which is good. It'll run right to the end of the commencement, so that we can parents that are on campus, students can take a tour of it as well. So, but that's about it. I'll just end on the slide. These are still our, so no major changes to the requirements for our digital art major. The only being the name change of 293, but with the addition of a few small changes to help our pipeline. That's it from me. Are there any questions about that?
Doesn't look like it. Anyone in the chat? Oh,
there's a hand up.
okay, here we go.
The beach scene.
Thanks. I have
Deb.
one quick question. Will a substitute or a blanket substitution be given to those students' catalogs years who preceded this change? So because students who came in before this change has met, the 141 is still going to be on their degree works.
Yeah, it's fine if it's on there. It's still an elective, but
so yeah, so if they take the digital photography and it's not on their degree works, it's going to fall through and can affect their financial aid. So will a substitution be given to those students who take the new course or the change in the program?
If I can jump in, Deb, it should be fine. Basically, it's a recommended elective, so other courses could apply there as well. A substitution wouldn't be needed for that elective area.
Yeah, they're all recommended. They're not required. The only requirements are the 6 courses that I put up, the 24 credits, and everything else is an elective. So all we're doing is trying to make it so that a student wants to take a digital class using digital cameras, they can just take that right away without the 141.
But that's what I mean. If it's an elective, it's still an option. So if they choose it, you know what I mean?
I'm sorry, I don't.
If they take the course as one of their options, but it's not on their curriculum, it wouldn't be applied unless a substitution's in place.
Well, Deb,
will
with
a
that
substitution
area
be given in that case where a student would take it?
it would be okay, because in that area it's a recommended elective, so students can take almost anything for that area. It doesn't necessarily have to be an arts class, but we recommend it. So even if the arts 141 isn't listed there, it would still count towards a degree, because again, technically anything can go there.
Okay.
Yeah, well
thank
said.
you.
Thank you.
Got it. No problem.
I think Michael has a question.
Keep in mind that these changes will be coming up for the upcoming catalog year for the most part, the ones that are being described today. And so the old, they're not retroactive. Students who are on an older version of the curriculum, an earlier version of the curriculum year, can follow the old program. If they'd like to switch to the newer curriculum, they can. You have to do a curriculum change and move them up to the newer year, but then they have to follow all the requirements for the new year and not the old year. So, but that's really up to the students, and you can help them decide, you know, which helps them finish more quickly or lets them take the courses they want to take.
And I think just to follow up, I don't think any of these changes would be something where they're required to take. We're not requiring any new requirements. We're just offering one more new elective, and then removing some of the barriers for taking other ones too. So there's actually less like static in trying to take the courses you want. That was our impetus for these changes.
Yeah, no, I understand that, and I think it's great that students can just take digital photography without taking any other, you know, the traditional photography courses. Many students are do that.
We only have 3 3 courses they could take as electives. Like, I mean, they only have 9 credits, actually 8 if it's the 31. But so just that with that math, if they're eating up 6 credits with just to get to digital photography, it's kind of, you know, this will open up. They can take painting or sculpture or anything. So
right.
Help those classes to fill quicker too.
Yeah,
by removing that barrier. Okay, well, we're sticking with the art, and we're switching over to Professor Kat Griffin from Gallery Museum Studies. Hi, Kat. How are you?
Good. How you doing? Nice to be here. Okay, so I've got some slides for you. Oops, we're gonna do slideshow. Okay. So this is the same materials I've showed last year, but I'm gonna focus on some particular courses and access to them based on what I've been hearing from students in terms of information they're getting. And I also want to start to just say thank you to the advisors, because we have an uptick in Gallery Museum Studies majors. And certainly some of that is that you have been sharing the information we've been sharing with you. So I want to thank you all. So just a little bit about the reason I share this every semester, at least every year, why Gallery Museum Studies, because I think a lot of our students and even their parents who may be involved in what they're choosing don't understand 2 important things. One is that there are hundreds of thousands of jobs in the arts, and in particular in museums, and New York is the key place for all of those. And secondly, we recently conducted a survey of our graduates and are finding that an enormous number of those, getting close to 100%, are going on to related academic degrees and or, usually it's both, jobs in these fields. So that this kind of degree program is leading really directly to that. I'm part of the CUNY Career Success Fellows program right now, which is even further kind of bringing career activities into our classrooms, which we have always done and will continue to do. But talking about the courses, some things I wanted to highlight. All of those courses highlighted in blue, this is really important. They need my approval or the chair's approval to register. Unfortunately, very frequently students seem to think this just means they're full. That is not the case. They're also typically 4 majors, but Gallery Museum Studies majors often are transfer students or students who are coming from another major and then they've realized this is what they want to do. I'm often open to allowing a student who is not a Gallery Museum Studies major yet, but is in liberal studies or another major to take one of these courses. So just because a course looks like it's full or looks like it's not accessible to the student, please reach out to me because usually we can accommodate that student because they're small courses and we want the students to be able to participate. Even the Intro to Gallery Museum Studies, we have been adding seats in that class. I've been adding seats to that class as it's filled most semesters recently, and I'm very open to that. So please don't, if you see it's full, or you think it's full, or the student thinks it's full, don't just move on, you know, reach out and we'll do our very best to accommodate folks. So that's a quick couple notes on those courses. Many of these are running now as either hybrid or online, but we are incorporating in all of the hybrids, certainly, and even the ones online, optional things in person with artists and curators and people who work in the fields. Like, for example, this coming week, we're going to the Guggenheim Conservation Lab. There's some wonderful special opportunities related to many of these courses. The other thing about sequencing, we have been only offering art curating in the spring, 251, ARTH 251. We have been only offering the art business 252 in the fall. So sometimes it looks like a student needs, or it is the case that the catalog says a student needs a prerequisite to take a course. But as a transfer student, it's going to take them a lot longer to graduate, and we will be willing, based on their other coursework and their understanding of the field, to allow them to take those out of sequence. So again, art curating and art business, even if it looks like they are not yet eligible because they need a prerequisite, we often find we need to waive that, and we can do that, and it works fine for that student and for the program. Just some notes about what the students have access to through these courses. The 2 internship courses, students get placed either on campus or off campus, so they can work at the QCC Art Gallery, learning about installing, research, database entry using the real kinds of materials that are used at museums all throughout New York City, learning about tours. At the Kupferberg Holocaust Center, of students, while we Gallery Museum Studies sits in the art and design department, we do very frequently have and really welcome students whose interest may be more in working at a natural history museum, a historic museum. So students who find that they're interested in history and museums, or interested in science and museums, this degree program still can work very well for them. And for example, the Kupferberg Holocaust Center internship can involve one of a number of different activities that are more obviously more connected with history than they are with the arts in particular. Our students go on to these these are the most typical programs that they go on to. Specifically, the Fashion Institute of Technology has a very good museum studies program. Of course, that is a SUNY. And while we don't have an official transfer agreement with them, our students have been transferring credits seamlessly there, easily graduating in 4 years between our program and theirs, and having a really good experience there. I think that's key there. Here is just a smattering of some of the different museums and areas of employment that our students are going into. I will highlight a couple particular pathways shortly, but one thing I thought is worth mentioning is more and more we're getting students interested in conservation. That's the restoration of historical objects, monuments, artworks, and that takes often some chemistry background. So we welcome students, not just those interested in the arts, but also students who may have some science background and are interested in museums, that there are some really interesting career paths for them through our program. Briefly, I'm going to just introduce you to a couple particular students, because I think that this kind of storytelling is helpful for you when you speak to students. Alejandro Leal Polito is a student who came here from Colombia to study with us, and his dream was to work at the Metropolitan Museum. He worked on the left, you see him doing his internship at the Kupferberg Holocaust Center. He went then on to Hunter, then on to CUNY SPS's MA in Museum Studies. So he did all the different levels of CUNY programs, and he is in collections management at the Met currently. So Carla Medina had also done work at the Coverberg Holocaust Center in curatorial. She's worked at visitor services at MoMA PS1 here in Queens, and actually now has moved on to a different curatorial and higher level curatorial job. Another student who worked with her at that time, Angelica Palmer, has gone into public programming and education. So if you're finding students who are interested, they're interested in the arts and education, they're interested in working with young people, or they're interested in working in some way in relationship to teaching, but not necessarily in the classroom, this program could be for them as well, because we have students who go on, graduates who go on to work in museum programming and museum education. As I mentioned, restoration and conservation is an area that students who are working with us and then are also interested or willing to take some science courses. This is an excellent fit. F.A. Aboji, who graduated recently, has gone on to do monument restoration in New York, and now doing some series of prestigious fellowships that she's received. She just received one in California and one in Minnesota and one in New York. So she's making a decision where to go next with her career in conservation. Arts handling is an earlier stage career path with plenty of opportunities in New York that students often get experience through our internship program. And then also for those who are more interested in the business side, we have more commercial galleries here than anywhere else in the world, probably. And a lot of our graduates and students end up doing internships or going on to careers in these areas too. Very lastly, I'm just sharing with you a couple of quotes from our recent survey of our graduates that gives you a sense of what they were able to take from the courses like art business, and how they were able to take what they learn in our program and implement those as they move on and as they graduate and as they work in the field. I'll put my email in the chat. Please feel free to reach out. I'm always very interested to talk to a student who's just considering this area and wants to learn more, to see how their interest and experience might fit with what we have to offer. So please don't hesitate to reach out yourself or to just send someone along who might want to speak with me. Thanks.
Any questions? Well, it was well informed, and thank you. And I'm glad that we're able to boost up the enrollment, and I will keep continuing to do that. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. We have Professor Sidiris from chemistry. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hello, everyone. Good. Just going to share my screen here. I have a few slides. Does everyone see the slides, by the way? Okay. Just prepared from some members of my department. So just want to mention at the top that there haven't been any changes in our curriculum or course offerings, but we are considering some changes in terms of the modality of certain course offerings. So I just want to quickly go over all of the courses we currently offer, just kind of remind everyone. I think already students are very well sort of advised in terms of which chemistry courses would be most appropriate for their academic goals, professional goals. But just to kind of tie it in what I said earlier about certain courses changing in terms of their, or we're going to emphasize certain modalities for certain courses, I think it's nice just go through them all one by one. So the first course is Chemistry 101, which is Living in a Chemical World. So this is one of the few courses that are WI, right, that we offer. So that may be important for students. And it's essentially a course along with Chemistry 102, which is the laboratory component, fulfills a basic requirement, just the science lab requirement. So any student that just wants to get that out of the way, we encourage them to register for these two courses, Chemistry 101 and 102. something that we like to tell them. They're very happy when they learn that it's probably one of the only courses, one of the few courses we offer where there's really no math or calculations required or used in the class. We just go over a lot of basic ideas, and in this case, try to relate try to relate our everyday experiences with some main concepts in chemistry. One thing we have noticed with Chemistry 101 and 102 is a lot of times students don't register for the lab, Chemistry 102, or they do, but something gets lost in translation and they ignore the laboratory component of the course. Sometimes if students just need a lab, they think because Chemistry 102 is there, they can just register for the lab component of the course, and they ignore the lecture component, which is Chemistry 101. So that doesn't happen often, right? Most students realize, and they're well advised, that you have to take them together. You have to treat them as two separate courses, right? They get two separate grades, but they're linked. So we just ask that that's continued to be emphasized whenever you meet with certain students that are interested in this course. And in terms of the modality, this is really where the course where we're experimenting a lot. One of the two courses we're experimenting a lot with asynchronous online modality. So if a student is drawn to that, if they feel that that is something that would work with their own their schedule, their life circumstances, then we encourage them to at least consider this course. So we offer it in the synchronous and asynchronous mode. If you decide to take Chemistry 101 in an asynchronous online mode, then the lab has to be of that same type. And I think the way they're currently done in CUNY First is that they're linked. The asynchronous sections of both courses are linked. That's really what we would prefer. There would be one instructor, and we feel that it just simplifies things in the minds of students. So moving forward, the Chemistry 101 and 102 are going to be fully online. So we don't feel we're going to offer in-person versions of these courses. This, what I'm about to say, is also true for Chemistry 110 and the corresponding lab, Chemistry 111. So this kind of focuses on chemistry in the environment. There is an environmental science program or track. For students that don't necessarily meet the math requirement for Chemistry 151, for that environmental science program, we recommend that they can take this course. There really isn't a lot of math. It is a 3-credit writing intensive course. So it's one of the, like I said, the few offerings we have for students interested in obtaining WI credit. And this, we feel, is a nice intro course, or kind of prep course, if you will, on some levels for students that are eventually interested in the environmental science degree pathway. Just going back, we have Chemistry 106. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm sorry, for Chemistry 110 and 111, currently we offer that course only in an asynchronous online capacity. And we don't really think that that's going to change too much. So for students that are interested, usually in our experience, I'm sure this is shared among all the departments, those asynchronous online courses really fill up very, very quickly. So we don't offer too many sections of Chemistry 110 and 111. And at least in the near future, they're going to remain asynchronous online. So students that are interested should really take the initiative and register as soon as they can. We have in between the Chemistry 101 and 110. The reason why I put 101 and 110 together is because they're really the WI courses, and we're experimenting a lot with online modes. In between them is Chemistry 106, Chemistry in the Arts. So here as I'm sure you all know, it's kind of required for the digital art and design degree. It also satisfies the basic laboratory requirement. There are no prerequisites. We recommend that any student that's interested in the arts, even though, as we just heard a few moments ago, that a lot of the art or animation specifically is going down the digital path, and a lot of students may wonder what value a course like this has. We feel that it's very interesting. Just to, we don't really cover a lot of the history, but just to talk about the evolution of our understanding of the materials around us to create visual works of art. And for anyone that's interested or in gallery or museum studies, I believe there is an online degree track for that program. We have a few sections of chemistry and the arts that are online, synchronous online, and we feel we cover a lot of material that could be interesting. Again, this is not a calculation-heavy course by any means. We just go over some basic concepts, and we do cover the chemistry or the science in general behind art authentication, and conservation and restoration efforts, which would be of great interest to anyone that would that's thinking about pursuing the gallery or museum studies. Okay. Chemistry 127 is another course where we have a few online offerings, but a lot of them are also in person. This course is highly recommended for students that are pursuing a nursing degree or they're interested in the allied health professions. There aren't any prerequisites, so there's really no barrier to entry. I can say that we're going to try moving forward to tailor a lot of the content in this course for these professions, for students interested in nursing or allied health professions, nutrition, that sort of thing. So for students that may be thinking about going down that path, the nursing program doesn't require Chemistry 127, but eventually when they move on, they're going to have to take a chemistry course. So we feel if possible, just to take it here with us, and they'll have the option of taking either an online version, lecture and laboratory component online, or the in-person. If a student is committed to taking, let's say, the lecture component online, I think the way we have it set up and the way we're going to continue to do this moving forward is to link the lecture and lab section so that they can both be online or both be in person. So that's just something to consider. Chemistry 128 is our introductory organic chemistry course. The enrollment has not been the greatest for the past few semesters. This course has Chemistry 127 as a prerequisite. We don't really offer Chemistry 120 anymore. A lot of times, students that are considering chemistry major or biology major, biochemistry major, they eventually have to take a full year of organic chemistry as part of those degree tracks when they transfer. So for those types of students, we like to market this course almost like a prep course for the full year of organic chemistry. It's recommended for students interested in nursing. There are some programs or some even PA programs that require a little bit of organic chemistry. Sometimes you can get away with this course. Other times you may need to take the first semester of the full year organic chemistry sequence. So there's some flexibility there. Currently, I believe we only have one lecture section, and I believe one or two lab sections of this course. So they're in person. So that's something to keep in mind. And at least currently, there is no concerted effort to try to bring these courses online. So they're the sections, excuse me, online. So they will remain, at least for the foreseeable future, in person. Chemistry 151 and 152, these are our general chemistry 1 and 2 courses. So as I'm sure you all know, they are marketed and meant to be taken by students who are interested in majoring in a STEM or engineering. A lot of times, I believe for the engineering science program, it's common for students to take 151 as an elective. There is a prerequisite, excuse me, for this course, Math 119 and Math 121. As I mentioned before, a lot of times students may not have that math background, so we would recommend, if they eventually decide to take General Chemistry 1 and 2, they can consider taking Chemistry 127 as almost a prep course for this sequence here. There is a lecture and laboratory component. From this point on, in terms of the courses that I'm going to talk about, so from Chemistry 151 and above, both the lecture and the laboratory components of the courses are going to be fully in person. And we do that deliberately to ensure, maximum transferability and flexibility. So it, like I said, it's part of the AS in engineering science, the environmental science degree. It's part of the AS in chemistry, and you have to take it if you're interested in the science for forensics, dual joint program we have. So any student that's interested in pre-med, pre-dental, pre-health, physician's assistants programs, I think moving, at least locally, they want students to kind of take at least one semester of this course sequence. So it's really marketed for that student population. A lot of times with students may want to kind of register for organic chemistry along with Chemistry 152. I believe it requires special permission to do that. I think moving forward, we're going to try to dissuade students from doing that, because it really is, even though they're two separate courses, you kind of deal with two different aspects of chemistry. It can be a little bit overwhelming for students. And the last two courses are Chemistry 251 and 252. Again, full year of Organic Chemistry 1 and 2, and they are only offered in person. And this is, I believe, required for certain majors, like in chemistry, biology, chemical engineering. I believe other STEM disciplines may require at least one of these courses as a sort of like a requirement. So it is also part of our dual joint degree with John Jay and York. So the students that kind of get to this point are usually a little bit later on in their academic career. So if there are any questions or problems with registration or things of that nature, I'll be more than happy to field those questions. And I think moving forward, we're going to do our best to kind of provide some in the department, some course specific tutoring, or at least some help, some sessions where students can get together and kind of help each other with these courses, General Chemistry 1 and higher. So there are resources available not only on campus through the learning centers, but within our department to kind of help students out as much as possible. So that's all I have to say. If there are any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. If you want the flyers, you can just email me and I can send them over to you. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, go ahead, Dave.
Not so much a question, but since we're talking chemistry and we were just discussing chemistry in the arts, I was talking to a former professor at Queens College in the Urban Affairs program, and there's a rise in enrollment in urban affairs at Queens. Hunter College, of course, has the urban planning, which has always been very popular. One thing that has been ever expanding is a focus on global warming and impacts on urban affairs. Queens's public policy and urban policy programs, they also have a global warming program. Their course on GIS mapping and transportation all are now expanding a focus on climate change. They don't have a specific physical science requirement for that degree. So I've actually found, talking to some of these professors, our chemistry and the environment class would actually be very beneficial as a foundation for students who want to go into urban affairs. I'm specifying Queens College because I've actually done that program and can speak to the focus that they had on environment. So that's something to think about as we talk to students, if any of them are express an interest in urban affairs, whether they're going into climate change policy or general policy, even planning and transportation. There are so many different avenues they can do with that program, to which our chemistry and the environment would provide a really valuable foundation for them.
Yep, I agree. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay. I'm waiting to hear back from physics. I don't see them in the room, so I just sent that out. So why don't we take a break for a few minutes, and I'll reconvene, say about 5 minutes, and I'll see what's going on with the next speaker. Thanks. Okay, everyone. So we haven't heard back from the department, so we're gonna go ahead and move ahead. And we're gonna speak with biology. So, Ursula, are you there?
Hi.
Hi, how are
Hello,
you?
everybody. If I sound bad, I am bad. I'm home with COVID, but I will try to do my best about the
Oh,
program.
thank you for doing that. Wow.
Well, it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you want me to? I have just brief slide with the outline of the program. Do you want me to share it? I don't know if I
Yes,
can.
please do.
Okay, where's that thing? So basically, just to before I find my, oh yeah, the slide is here. Okay, so my program is the associate degree in biology. Can everybody see the screen? It's not like it's particularly new or anything like that. Can you guys see it all right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Okay, so basically my bottom line that I wanted to say is this program is designed for students who, first of all, many of our are thinking about pre-med, right? So for medical school, for veterinary, for dental school, all those jobs that somehow seem to be health science related are actually better to follow the path for AS and biology. And on top of that, all the students who want to get degree in biology later on, either bachelor or become teachers or, traditional biology jobs. The key courses that somehow some students miss, I think, and they definitely should take is calculus, so Math 441. If they can take calculus 2, even better. The whole biology, Bio 201, 202, 203, and definitely they should take at QCC chemistry, 151, 152. I think that will give them good foundation when they transfer. One thing that I notice is happening, and I would like to draw your attention to that, is I don't advise students to take Bio 202 and Bio 203 in the same semester. I had few students doing that, and I think that's pretty hard for them. So I would advise it's easier for them if they take 203 after 202. Okay. Another thing that came to my attention, and I want to ask you guys about that. I've heard from several students who took calculus and then they will later on ask to take, the lower level math. I don't think that's necessary. I think if they can start with math 440, math 441, I don't think we should require them to take lower math. So I don't know why I've heard students complaining to me about that. Okay, anything else I should say? Are there any questions to me?
Yes, I have a question
Okay.
if you don't mind. Hi, my name is Arthur. I was just wondering, how does this major compare to health sciences when it comes to some of these doctoral programs, right? Whether it's MD, veterinary medicine or what have you.
Right. So basically health sciences doesn't require them to take all the 201, 202, 203, right?
Yeah.
And so that's definitely a drawback because they should have that foundation when they transfer.
Okay. I was just wondering in terms of just, giving them a lighter foundation.
Yeah, so my again, from my experience, if they have lighter foundation here, when they move to four-year schools, many of them struggle. I think it's better for them to take, for example, this general chemistry at QCC. That's another thing. I don't advise them to take like organic at QCC. It's fine if they transfer, particularly if they think about medical schools. Often medical schools like to see that organic being taken at four-year school. But I think taking some hard courses at QCC will make their life really easier after they transfer. It's very hard to take chemistry, in 300 students classroom. It's much easier with, our small classes.
Yes. I was also going to say the LSAS major, a lot of
Yeah, so
guess.
I think that major is kind of phasing off. So the main
Yeah.
reason for that age, I don't remember how many years ago we did the program review of that major, and it turned out that students were confused, and that led to development of special degrees, you know, in all sciences, to be kind of more focused for students.
Right. Do you know of any CUNY or SUNY schools that would have a veterinary major?
Not on top of my head, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
I think there was one in the chat. Hold on.
I think that's just the clarification.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay, thank you. So there is still the placement. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Again, we're gonna take another break.
Okay, so if you guys have any questions, you know, like you think about something or you want to advise me on something, here is my email on the bottom of the slide. So feel free to contact and you know, get in touch.
Great.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me. You know, good luck with your next speaker.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Right. So we're gonna take another break. Again, just sorting out the shuffling here. So thanks for your patience, everyone. I appreciate it. And I'll get back to you in a few minutes. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Dr. Peterson, are you here? Dr. Joan Peterson?
Yes, I am.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Thank you
Doing
for
all right.
coming. Thank you for making a quick adjustment. We've had to
No, sure, no problem.
juggle some things around. The floor is yours, and the advisors are ready to hear what's the update. Thank you.
Okay. Am I able to share my
Yeah.
screen?
Yes, you are.
Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. It's nice to meet you in this Zoom room, I guess. Although I can't really see much, folks. So my name is Joan Peterson. I am the program coordinator for the environmental science program at Queensborough, which runs out of the biology department. And I don't really have, so maybe a few new things to share, but just kind of reminders of what I've talked about before with this. So a few things that are in color here on this slide are things that I like to particularly point out with this program is I find that students get stuck sometimes because they're not always aware of the fact that some of the classes are not offered every semester, right? So if you look in the fall semester number 1, the BI 160 ecology is only offered in the fall. And fall semester number 2, this is in the suggested course sequence, right? The Bio 480 or environmental science is offered only in the fall as well. All right, so sometimes I'll hear from a student I've never met, and they're like, well, I just have to take ecology and environmental science and I'm done, so I'll take those in the spring. And it's like, well, no, you're here at least one more semester, right? So that's important always to note. And the other one is under spring semester number 2, the Bio 461 microbiology is only offered in the spring semester. So students have to kind of be organized with really planning out what they're taking when, so that they don't end up with these courses backing up because of that. All right. The shown in the red there is one of the advised electives in the program is Chem 110, 111, which is chemistry and the environment with a lab. Sometimes students will take the Chem 151, 152, which I know are often a class that they struggle with. And so the idea with the Chem 110, 111 is if the student feels that they don't have a good background in chemistry, is they would take that first to get ready for the more advanced chemistry 151 and 152. So sometimes says, okay, I need an elective, and they take that, and after they've taken that at 151, 152, and that it's not how it should be done. If they're going to take that, that should be to prepare them for the harder chemistry. All right. And what else here? So it's not officially in the books yet. I have to do the paperwork for this, but recently, it's down on the red at the bottom of this slide. You see it says that students who transfer, they have the AS degree here and then transfer to Queens College, which is where most of my graduates do go. They change their program over there a little bit so that now to take the next sequential environmental science course, they're going to need to have a semester of physics first, right? And so a student who's thinking to go to Queens College, it would be really great for them to take their physics here before they get there, so that they're not held up in taking the next sequential environmental science course. The chemistry that they would like over there to satisfy the requirement would be the PH 301 physics. All right, there's a few different physics courses, but that's the preference at Queens College. Okay, and then a few other things just to go over this. So we're still working with New York City Parks. I started a new partnership last semester with a group called Marin. That has to do with milkweed research in order to provide habitat for monarch butterflies. And so that's a nice national network that we've contributed data to, and we've sent them some of our seeds. So it's good to, students like being involved in that kind of national experiment, if you will. All right. We still have those 3 articulations that are listed there. Queens College was recently revised. Malloy will be done soon. and as well as maritime. Okay, and then just some other quick advisors is those two, Bio 160, Bio 480. I teach both of those courses and they are both fall only, but I really don't like students to take them together. I've done it, I allow it, but it's really not ideal for me or the students. So they should do the Bio 160 first, their first fall, and then the next fall, the 480 would come into play, right? There's a 1-credit course to see if they want to explore what's out there in environmental science that they could contact me, and we put it in that they can take that Bio 505 and get an idea for what kind of things are out there available to environmental scientists. I would also recommend that they don't put off the Bio 201 and 202. Get that and their maths done pretty early on in their career. And the Chem 110, 111, I already discussed. That should be taken before Chem 151 to help them get through Chem 151 and 152. Just make sure that they're taking the courses for the major, because I think what happens is they'll take all the classes that are required for any major, and then they're too backed up to for environmental science because we don't have the courses every semester. All right. And I do like to meet all of the students. I have a contact registrar every semester to get a list of the majors, and I have a Blackboard site where I can send them information about upcoming events or summer internships and things like that. In fact, I have a guest speaker coming next week from Malloy University who's going to speak to them about her research and opportunities for them also to do research at Malloy. And so that information I put on this website, but I really do like to meet them one-on-one too, just discuss upcoming things like that. So please, if you get a student that says environmental science major, or even if they're considering it, please have them reach out to me or send me an email with their contact information and I'll reach out to them. Okay. Thank you. I think that's it, unless there's any questions.
Do you have a follow-up, Deb? No, just a thumbs up. Okay. Any other folks?
I did have a question. I'll put it
Go
in the
ahead.
chat.
I see it, yes.
Go ahead.
I just saw it. Yeah, I just read the question. So you're asking if the Bio 160 is closed, can they take 480 first? Yes, they can. My preferred sequence is the Bio 160 first, but I've had students do it successfully in the other order as well. It's not a prerequisite, so that's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you again for the shift. I really appreciate you,
No
Professor
problem.
Peterson, also Professor Srivastava. This was yeah. Okay, so next will be public health, and then we'll wrap it up for today. So
Hi, thank you, William.
thank you so much.
I'm sorry, I was in another meeting, but then I got your message that this can be delayed until, second or third week of March. And I don't want to do that because I wanted to share some important information. So I just requested them that can I jump over to another meeting, and they were very kind to let me go and attend here. Anyway, so
Thank you.
Yeah, yes, of course, it's very important to meet with all the advisors in your team because this is important information. So for AS in public health program, one of the majors requirement is BI 520, Introduction to Public Health course. This is also a requirement for medical assistance program, and now health sciences students also take it. It's a general education, scientific world pathway course as well. Now, last summer, we offered this, but due to lack of enrollment, or I must say advertisement, it did not run because it was canceled. There was not enough registration. This is capped at 16 for summer. So we are again offering it in this summer, capped at 16 students. And I would really like the advisors to encourage anyone who is in public health, medical assistance, health sciences, or even liberal arts program, like I get a lot of students from business and music and other majors also, who are willing to get ahead in their curriculum pathway. They can take it in summer. And why I'm emphasizing this is because, first of all, I have a question. Do you have any idea this time the college or CUNY will be offering STEM waiver for any summer course? You have any idea? No one? We don't know that?
Nothing's
yet?
come out yet. I think that'll be closer to the summer semester when they have, I think they have to confirm funding first.
Okay, okay. Because that's been the case, until last summer, at least. And so that there is really that incentive that, you can get, this qualifies for STEM waiver. So they can save some cost over here, cost of college education. And the other reason I'm encouraging this is because in fall, the same course, because it's really in demand in fall and spring, we cap one of the sections to 16. So there are 2 lecture sections that run. One lecture section of BI 520 is capped at 32, but the other one is capped at 16 for fall. And that is because of scheduling issues. Because when you have 32 students, you have to offer 2 labs. The lab space that we have can only take 16 students at a time. So for every lecture section with 32 students, we open 2 lab sections. But in fall, because we offer some other biology courses also, and we need that lab space, so the other lecture section gets capped at 16, so we can open only 1 lab. So we will have 16 less spots available for fall for the same course. So anyone who can manage to take it in summer, that would be great, because then, otherwise sometimes students are frustrated that they could not register for this course over the fall, because it's a prerequisite, especially in medical assistance program. They take that BI 340 and I think 341. Before that, they have to take this course. And health sciences students also like to take it. And of course, BI 520 is taken by public health students. So it will be great if all the advisors can really advertise this summer offering for this course. And the specifics are on CUNY first, but I can quickly tell you that Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, first we do the lecture for 2 hours, and then only on Tuesday and Thursdays there'll be a lab. So we start at 9 and it will be all done by 2 p.m. So that's one thing. Then the other thing is this, that from fall of 2023, biology department is offering another elective course for public health students, which is BI 526. It's a field experience or internship course in public health. This is 2 credits. We had phenomenal success with sending our students for internships. We have now partnerships in place, and it's a wonderful experience. So some of our students went to Northwell Health Community Health Outreach Program. Some went to some other community organizations located here in Queens, and it worked out very well for them. I'm opening this internship course for summer as well as fall. So, please encourage public health students to reach out to me if they are interested in a field experience or internship. This is a 2-credit course, and they're required to complete 90 hours of field experience. And all of them have, those students who did this internship last year, they ended up presenting their work at CUNY Graduate Center, at QCC, spring and fall research symposium, and they were well received. So it was a great experience for them. And I think those students who are in the career pathway for public health, and then we, our senior colleges with whom we have articulation agreements, York and Hunter, they have agreed to give elective credits for these courses, these students, those who decide to go on for their BS in public health at Hunter or York, they do some other field internship courses, but they really said that we prefer students if they are coming with an internship or field experience course credit, because those students know how to work in the field. So I think it would be great if all the advisors who deal with public health students really make them aware of this internship course, which is BI 526, a 2-credit course. And they need to, and if they want to register in this, they need instructor, which that would be me, my permission, because then I have to ask the department secretary to add them manually to the course, register them for the course. And the other course that I want to talk about, which I think Joan was also mentioning, BI 505, which is current environmental issues, which is an IND. I offer it every semester. I'm running it as IND online, and depending on the fact that whether the student is from environmental sciences program or public health program, I give them assignments or ask them to do some research based on their majors. So again, this will be opened up in summer as well as fall. This is 1-credit course, but this is a good way to knock out some electives over the summer. BI 505, 1-credit, internship course, 2 credits. And if they do that, then they have knocked out 3 credits from their electives, for public health. And of course, BI 505 for environmental sciences will be just 1 credit. But I think that these courses are not getting advertised as much. I'm trying my best, but I really need your team to, while they're advising students, just think about these courses. And all they need to do is that direct them to me, and then I can ask the department secretary to register them. And for internship, right now, I have some partners or collaborators, community organizations who have worked in the past with our students. They are looking for more student interns. So I recently just scheduled 2 public health students who are in their, they're going to graduate in fall of 2024. One is going to join Northwell Community Outreach Program again this summer. And then there is another student who is going to another community organization in Queens who works with a lot of Spanish population. That organization is especially looking for Spanish-speaking students because they work with Spanish families and they do a lot of outreach, health-related outreach in those families. So if you have any student in mind in public health who could be benefited for them, please send them my way. So this is what I wanted to update you about, BI 520, which is getting offered in the summer, BI 526, the internship course, and BI 505, which is current environmental issues, which is in the elective course list for both environmental sciences and public health program. So that's what I wanted your help with. And these are the updates. Any questions for me now?
Yes. Hi, my name is Sheldon with
Hi,
ASAP.
Sheldon.
I wanted to know about the offerings for BI 503 and BI 521 because I've been fighting to graduate a student and
I
had to do a
know.
couple e-permits.
I couldn't agree more with you. In fact, I just had this discussion with the department chair. We want to offer these courses. We want to run these courses, and they get canceled because of lack of enrollment. So last semester, there were 5 students who registered for this course, and I was fighting that please don't cancel this section. We need our students. These are the major required courses. We need our students to graduate on time. We need to offer these courses. But this is out of my hand. If the provost decides to cancel it, it was canceled. Though it was capped at just 10 students, but they did not allow us. So then I helped 2 students to take these courses via e-permit at York and Hunter. Now that's another thing. Those 5 students who were registered for the course, I sent out personal emails to them and only 2 responded to me. And I was able to help them register. And I kept on sending emails, but sometimes students don't check their emails. So in fact, one of the students who is hoping to take, because now he's taking BI 520 with me, and I asked him that you're graduating in fall, have you taken BI 521 because you've taken BI 201, which is a prerequisite? He said, because it was canceled. I said, I sent out emails. You never reached out. I mean, you never responded to me, because I know 2 students are taking it in Hunter. And so he said, I will just take it again in fall. And the problem, and I don't blame him. He does not understand how courses or classes can get canceled. And, if he had responded to my email, I would have helped him get registered, because there was a GPA or prerequisite issue also. There was a prerequisite issue, but since I work closely with the program coordinator at Hunter, they took in both the students. So please reach out to me if you run into that. But this time, I have even asked the department chair to request the provost to not cancel it, and we will offer it as hybrid. If I am allowed to offer it as hybrid, then I think it should, in terms of cost and budget, it shouldn't matter that much. But Sheldon, this is, and everyone, this is really not in my hands if the provost decides to cancel it. And I've tried to make the argument, these are small programs. And especially the enrollment issue that we are facing in community colleges, it is affecting smaller programs. So it will take a while for this program to grow back, or to come to a capacity where every course section for these specific courses can become fully, they're filled completely. And if we want these programs to succeed, we have to allow running these smaller class sections. And I'm willing to do it as a hybrid, but please don't cancel it. So this is what I have told the department chair, to please take this request to the provost, but ultimately the decision is in their hand. But I'll keep you posted. You can always reach out to me. So far, I know they're going ahead, and the department chair is going to propose it as hybrid. But for the other one, BI 503 epidemiology, that course is not only a required course for public health, it is also for health sciences, and it's also, I think, now included in biology. I'm not sure. So I'm thinking it has a better chance to be, so that it is for registration, from registration purposes. So if you have any public health students, please encourage them to register for these courses in the fall, because if there are only 2 or 3 students, they're definitely going to cancel it. I hope I answered your question. And unfortunately, I wish I could say this will be offered. We are putting it up there on CUNY first, but ultimately provost's decision would be final based on how many students register for the course.
Thank you. And then I guess my last question was just the 526. You said that's going to be offered this summer, because this student needs like 2 more credits, and he was just going to take like a random 2-credit class. So then if the internship is 2 credits and it's offering this summer, I think that would be better for him.
Yeah, so please ask that student to get in touch with me.
Yes,
because there are some GPA requirement also. We'll want a minimum GPA of 2.5.
Yeah, he has that.
Okay, so please ask that student, or maybe even better, if you can write an email to the student and copy me on that.
Okay.
I will take it from there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for me? No?
Doesn't look like it. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for jumping out of the meeting, coming. That's the first time someone's done that for me, so I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Because I really, I'm concerned as a program coordinator. I'm so concerned about classes filling up and not getting canceled, and students taking advantage of the opportunities that will, help them in their career pathway or graduate on time. So happy to be here. Thank you so much.
And get them into the class sooner, hopefully.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And everyone, thank you for your patience and the juggling. This concludes day 1. And day 2 will be next week on the 13th with the whole new set of speakers. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.